Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm feeling deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is, and I'm back with a middle of the week vent session. My name is Jaime, and let's get on with some vents, humans. Let's get on with it, shall we? Man, dude, humans, I mean, there's just so much going on with this guy. You know, you want to leave him alone for a little bit. You think you can, and then you can't. You know you can't. This dude just brings you right back in. You know, Project 46, the Prez. You know, I'm going to be doing a little bit on this guy, and I got a little sports vent on Mr. LeBron. I got to talk about Mr. LeBron later on. I got a little sports vent about this. I got to get this off my chest. And anyways, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on with our Prez and like all these guys in the medical field and all this stuff with them. And I'm talking about Fauci again. So like Rand Paul, like, I mean, this dude's got like paid ads. And, like, I don't even know if he's got paid contracts on Fauci, but he's been going hard in the paint after this dude. Like, he's just been going after this man. And, I'm, like, telling you, I'll watch a video on YouTube, and it'll be a paid ad, and it'll be him. You know, and now he's starting to do the rounds on shows and stuff. You know, he was on, I think he was on Crowder, and he was, like, on all kinds of stuff, man. Everybody's just interviewing this guy. He's got a kind of cool hairdo. Kind of reminds me of, like, Ben Askren for some reason. Like an older Ben Askren. That's what kind of reminds me of. I don't know why. The UFC fighter that got knocked out by Jake Paul. Who's fighting also coming up soon. But anyways. So like I said, Rand Paul's going hard on this dude. And he's been saying things all crazy. Like, I mean, you know, taking this guy to court. I mean, all these crazy stuff you're seeing. And he's been saying that now it comes to the point where he said it's not about science. It's conditioning people for submission. And then he says another one, like, it's not about data or science or facts. It's about gaining more control and power with no pushback. And this is what he's saying and why he's got these guys in court, because he feels like this whole thing has been over-politicized. And it's really wild. Like, I mean, they're going crazy. And a lot of it's starting to show. I mean, I know you have all seen when Biden showed up at his, it looks like it's in front of the White House, and I'm trying to see if I can find this. It was like him and Bill Nye, the science guy. And I know if you guys all seen this video, it's him and Bill Nye, Project 46 and President Biden and Bill Nye. And they're in this weird TikTok video where it's like super weird, and like I mean everybody's been calling it cringy and stuff like that. It is kind of lame and weird at the same time. And anyways, it's kind of acting a little slow, so I'll see what's going on here. But anyways, it's these two dudes, and there's all these little like graphics and stupid little, you know, graphic pop-ups and everything on the video, and it looks like it's made for like children of elementary level. And they're just talking about the infrastructure. And he's like, oh, yeah, the infrastructure. And, like, Bill Nye's talking the whole time. And Biden's just standing there, like, you know, doing this smiley, happy old guy. Just like, you know, just standing there. And at the end, he kind of says some things. And then Bill Nye kind of just starts talking real quick. Like, real quick, that was his cue. Like, he's only allowed to say that. And you better jump in. You know, or else you're going to get the blow dart to the neck. And if he doesn't, and Biden pauses too long, he'll just be like, you know, and the video will never make it. You know, it'll be a leaked video on the internet, and we'll catch it. It'll be one of those, like, leaked films, and when he goes missing. Because but he did it. He did it on cue, so he survived. And this video is really strange. Like I said, they're trying to talk about how they're going to electrocute the ground for the cars and all these things. And it's really wild. But these dudes are going nuts. And he looks just as old, you know, as him, if not older. And he looks like he's losing his shit, and he's just really good at remembering how to read the scripts. Or he's on really good scripts so he can read the scripts. If you know what I mean. But this guy right here, man, our Prez, man, he's going around doing speeches, and he sounds like he's all sick as hell. He sounds like he's all like, whoa, you know, and then all of a sudden he'll just be like, hold on a second. And then he'll start talking again. like just started hacking, and then his voice was like super low, and he never said to anybody like, "Oh, I got a cold," until like just after like a few days, people were like, "Damn, dude, you were sounding pretty rough, man. What's going on?" And he was just like, "Well, a grandkid, was kissing his grandpa on the mouth or something." He said something like that, and then he got a cold. Or something. But he sounded pretty rough, man. And he was like sitting here hacking away. And like I said, it was just pretty bad. It was really, really bad. And I don't know. Like I said, I thought he was going to, I thought we were going to lose the prez or something, man. I thought we were going to lose the dude. I didn't know what was happening. He was like, I mean, he was like super low. And, like all the time, like, I make a lot of jabs and about this him and like Kamala and Pelosi. Like Pelosi looks super old. Like they got videos of her just all stuttering everywhere now, and she's got this little glass of water, and she's like, and she's doing the same thing. Sound like she's doing ad libs for like Michael Jackson album. And then she'll get the words out. But anyways, I'm not going to get on them being super old because we know they're super old. But the part is, like I said, I do a lot of jabs on them. But the thing that I have concern is, like, the one thing I do always go, it concerns me is that these weirdos, and not only the weirdos and old people that are super old and senile, seems like they're senile. They're like the top, 3 people in charge. Like, they're like the top tier of our leadership and shit. And that's what we got, and that's what we, dang. That's all I can say sometimes. And when I see that stuff, it's like, dang. They're in charge. And our enemies see this stuff. I know they see this stuff. Whoever they are, I know they can see this stuff. Or how about when, like, the prez, him and his wife have LL Cool J host this, like, Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And my man shows up late. He got, like, LL out there, doing his time. Like, he probably got paid a pretty penny to go do this. And I don't know if they used him for like a token host. What do you think? A lot of people kind of think they're doing that stuff, like Vanilla Ice type stuff, where they accuse Vanilla Ice doing things like that, using like token people of ethnicity, to get you some representation, to be accepted in other communities. And LL probably took a nice big check to do it, not thinking about that. And that's what a lot of people are thinking. Like, was this like a token representation? But not only that, LL comes out there. It's cold as heck. Everybody's out there, waiting to see the president come out here and light this big tree. And they do he's like, he does the intro. He's like, welcome the president and his wife. Everybody starts clapping and cheering, and they play the music, the presidential music, like the game show shit, And they don't show up. There's nobody there. You're just standing there, and nobody's there. There's like the clock's clicking, and they're waiting for this fucking tree to be lit, but yet he's not there lighting the tree. Like, where you at, man? Where you at? So, finally they figure out, like, okay, now he's really coming. They tell him, like, in the earpiece, I don't know what happens, but they figure out, like, okay, he's coming, guys. He's going to be for real. He's coming. And they go, and LL, like, probably super embarrassed, he has to ask the crowd again, can you all take your seats again so we can retry this? So everybody has to try it again, and he does, welcome back, the president is Mrs. Biden, blah, 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 and the first lady, Mrs. Biden, and the crowd starts cheering again. And the music starts going everywhere for take 2. Like 10, 15 minutes later, everybody fucking did the whole surprise party when nobody showed up. The door came in, and it was like the janitor, and they were like, surprise! And started cheering and popping off all the fucking confetti things. And then they ran out of confetti things, and it wasn't even, it wasted it. And then when he come the 7th time, they didn't have as much energy either. The first one was way hype. In my opinion, the first one was way hype. Because, like, everybody was so anxious, it was cold, and they were so relieved to, like, hoping they were going to get warm. It was almost like if, like you thought you were going to get recess in school when kids had recess when you were a little kid, and the teacher made you stay a little longer. You know, they're like, oh, before you go. And they're all like, and you're like holding on to your fucking chair, like ready to fucking run, you know? And they were like ready. So when they were like, here comes the president, everybody was like, yeah, you know, let's go. Woo, 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 woo. You know, everybody's like, let's do this. Big go Prez. You know what I'm saying? They were like, you know, FJB. You know, they were yelling that shit or whatever. And he didn't show up. So they were like, psh, meow. You know that sound when the, you know that sound? Meow. So then they come the second time and they were like, yay, you know, let's go. LGB. And he shows up, Brandon's ass. And I just thought it was really funny, man. Just they had to do 2 takes, man. I felt bad for LL. And for everybody out there, like I said, because they really they gave their all in that first celebration. That first one, they gave the heave-ho. They was just like, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I always complain about these guys being old, because my man's tripping, dude. He's like, well, if gas prices are such a problem, why don't you buy an electric car? You son of bitches, buy an electric car. Last time I checked, some of those cars started like 50 grand. And some people's probably gonna be like, no, there's one that costs like this much. I'm like, yeah, that's if you buy under 50 grand and it's like in a real electric car. Now I'm not talking about like these fucking hybrids. I'm talking about like if you buy like a real electric car, the fucking thing's probably gonna have like one door. Okay, it's gonna have like one door, and your window still does this fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? It'll take you this fucking time long to fucking yell at somebody. And you're just like with no features at all. You know what I'm saying? Like you got half a monitor. You know what I'm saying? But those cars are expensive. And he's just going to say all these things. Like some of these, and then like you talk about the empty shelves and stuff. They're like, well, people are buying less, so you have more. You should be happy because there's more money in your pocket. Now you have more money because you're not buying shit. Man, if you ain't an old ass rich dude that lost reality and don't really know what like real living is like, people are just like, we're not elites. We don't know we don't know what it's like to, you know, to live like y'all. So like, we don't understand what you're talking about. We need to buy stuff. We're based on consumption. We consume. We consume by large quantities. And when you resist our habits of consumption, well, yes, it will cause some disruption. And we're going to come over there and find a fucking conclusion to this disruption. Because we need our consumption. We need to fulfill our consumables, our consumable needs. So what's up with that, Mr. Empty Shells guy? Mr. Empty Shells guy. But I'm just saying, that's what this dude's talking about, man. He's just like, they don't understand what like normal living's like. They're like, I'll take a, you know, they got private planes, you know, private planes everywhere. They don't got to sit in the airports like we do. And go through the damn x-rays and do all that shit. They go right to the fucking, drive right to the fucking plane. Right through the gates. They see the big airport where we're all in line getting all fucking scanned up and x-rayed up. And they get to pull to the plane. The plane ladders come down and you just get in your plane. Just like that. Wouldn't that be nice? Huh. Damn it. Well, we're not all that privileged. But back in the day, you know, you'd want to talk about the, you know what, the vid and all that, you know, the things going on right now with the virus and all those things going on. You always want to say things, but you know, like there's always right now, there's all this like big restrictions. Like you can't talk about certain things. You can't say certain things. Or it's going to cause a little, you know, disruption in your feedback out there. They're going to give you a hard time, or they might not even let your episode get out, or, you know, it's a lot of things that can happen. They'll try to censor you somehow. Excuse me. They'll try to censor you somehow. And, but anyways, back in the day, like not even that long ago, it was just like 2 years ago, you couldn't talk about like so many other things, like other things that were conspiracies. And now you can just like talk about them all day. Like you can talk about them all day. Those were the one, and just 2 years ago, some of these conspiracies would like get your channel taken down, or you get flagged, or you know, strikes and all that shit like you would right now for talking about or talking against the establishment. You know, if you come with some real facts with a gut punch to the establishment, you know, they're going to come penalize you. You get in the penalty box. But back in the day, that's what they would do with certain things like this. Like, but now, humans, we can talk about these. Because as long as you ain't talking about the establishment's crooked corruption, we can talk about this crazy stuff that we weren't allowed to talk about before. Like, for instance, there's conspiracies that are like bananas, but yet, and so far-fetched to some and entertaining to most, and yet those were getting people flagged. And here's the one of them right now. Is there a secret reptilian race that runs the world in secret? That is the Conspiracies, humans. And that's what they've been saying. Like, you weren't allowed to talk about that before. Like, if you did, you would get a little flack. Or they put like real, like weird fact checks. Fact check things on your bottom like they do now when you talk about the vid and all that. So, or the vid or the variants. And so, there was a rumor going around that there was a reptilian race that secretly runs our world. The whole planet. Not just like America. Not just America humans. But like the whole thing. And you know what? Before I continue, I wonder if I should just go like full they live on this. No, just kidding. So rest in peace to Rowdy Piper. This could be like one of those they live segments, even though it's a different type of alien race. But this conspiracy is, all right, just so I could see for real this time while I tell this truth. There's a secret reptilian race that can have this, they have this super advanced technology where they make these human suits that they wear on top of their bodies, where they look just like us and me and you, and they can walk around undetected, and they run the banks, and they run all these big corporations, and they run all the establishments, and they keep us all like slaves, and they're working us to the bone, and they're trying to keep us like a alien slave labor race. And they're harvesting our organs, and they're selling us to other alien races, so they can also, help them with their reproduction, because some of them are having trouble with their reproduction because they can't reproduce the way we do. Yes, I had to get it out all in one breath, just in case they cut me off. Because this is the stuff you used to not be able to talk about, and now you can. And this is one of the things that's been going on. They say they run like the financial system, like basically everything in the whole world. Now, let's say this is true. These guys run the world, okay? Like, oh, damn, these fucking dudes run the world. All right, now we got to listen to these dudes, right? Well, we already got these old, scaly, wrinkly old dudes to listen to right now that are humans. Now, these guys that turn their alien suits off, let's say the veil breaks down, their technology breaks. They live scenario. Something happens, the satellite breaks, and their fucking suits, don't work no more. And we really see the queen is a lizard. Like, oh shit, the queen is a lizard. The people say the queen's a lizard. And they said it happened to Adele. They said Adele shapeshifted in front of fans and scared the shit out of a bunch of young kids that was her fans. And she tried to go tell them, like, I'm a friendly lizard. Looking like one of the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, and you're just trying to tell kids to calm down. When it's like, just all of a sudden. You're not going to just be able to do that shit, and people are going to calm down. You remember the Twilight Zone movie when Dan Aykroyd pulled that shit on a limo? My man wasn't ready for that. He was like, you want to see something really scary? And then he fucking turns into a crazy flesh-eating zombie. You're not ready for that shit. You got to do it slowly. You don't just fucking turn into the big-ass fucking lizard person in front of your fans. They said Bieber did it. They said the queen's a fucking lizard. That shit used to get you in trouble, but now you can say it all you want. And I'm going to say it all I want. They say like all the most powerful leaders and some people that are super powerful in entertainment and all crazy stuff have these suits on and they're fucking shapeshifting on TV. You see when their eyes are all fucking flipping and the lizard eyes and shit. But that used to get you in trouble. But now, like I said, we already listen to old, scaly, wrinkly dudes. And if these lizards come out to show themselves, now we got to listen to these old, scaly, wrinkly fucking lizard dudes. And that will suck. Because who knows what their intentions are. Like I said, is it already, their intentions are already what they are right now, if this shit was true? It's bananas, humans. But this stuff we just never be able to talk about. And now I'm talking about it. Why not? Why not, humans? Because reptilians could be taking over the place. I mean, they already took over the place, supposedly. In the conspiracy world, they already run the shit. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And our leaders are falling apart right in front of us. And like I said, and all our enemies can see this shit, drooling, chipping at the bit to come over and start some shit. And I'm a poet and didn't even know it. Damn. Cheers, humans. Cheers. Now I'm going to switch it up, humans. I'll leave them guys alone for a minute, humans. I'm going to switch it up with a little sports vent. Yes, that's right, humans. It's a sports vent. Maybe not a fight game talk yet, not just yet. But this one is about Mr. LeBron James. LeBron James. All right. So I'm going to touch a little bit on, the comparison thing. I'm not even going to really go there. In my opinion, I've seen my man play. I've seen him play. Both phenomenal players. And, I don't want to go into that part right now. Just right now. There's some other things on the table here. If you want to go there with the mental capacities of a player. Now, I feel like the mental capacities of the NBA players today are just not the same or up to par with the mental capacities of the NBA players of the past. And not even that long ago. You can even probably go under 10 years. And nowadays, it's like a small batch of players have that killer instinct. They have that, I want to win no matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes to win no matter what. Attitude, lifestyle, the way they are on the court. No matter what happens, it's just going to happen. I'm going down. And if you're in my way, you just happen to be in my way. You know what I'm saying? You're the person that's going to get in trouble. You're the one in trouble when I'm on my path to victory. And that's how it goes. But anyways, so the mental capacity of these players, I feel like, is softer. And I'm going to touch on LeBron James just for a minute because of a recent incident. And not only that, I can touch on a lot of players just I can put a whole bunch in a group after this. But apparently he kicked out a couple fans for heckling. And he tried to say what they were saying. He crossed the line. Those people didn't. They do what every sports player does. Everybody talks shit during a basketball game. The players on the court talk shit on the game. That's how the game is made. There's videos based on best trash talkers in sports. And this dude's going to be crybaby. There's also videos about the biggest crybabies in sports. And Jordan's not in that. Okay? But I'm not going there. I'm not going there, humans. I'm not going there. What's your opinion on trash talking in sports? I feel like it's a staple in every sport. Whether it's table tennis, chess, I know there's trash talking going on. They trash talk in a chess game with their faces, their looks and shit like, dummy, imbecile, whatever, another smart word for somebody dumb. Moron. I don't know. And there's probably trash talking in every fucking sport. Every sport. I don't care what you say. I think there's trash talking in every single sport. Prove me wrong. Or what's that one? There's trash talking in every sport. Change my mind. I'm telling you, there is. So, especially in basketball, that's what makes basketball, NFL, some of those full contact sports, hockey, football, international football, soccer, what we call here, and rugby, on and on with some of them physical sports, lacrosse. There's a mental thing that happens. You got a big guy that hits hard. You got a guy that fucking posts up. You got a dude that's just a beast, a guy that's just a juggernaut, or a team that's a juggernaut. And there's some intimidation factors that happen before an even game starts because rumors will say, oh man, watch out for 44. My man fucking's a freight train. Watch out for 60T. 60T. 63. My man's a freight train. You know what I'm saying? Watch out for this dude. He's a juggernaut. These guys are unstoppable. These guys are all like 6'9", 400 pounds, all muscle. And like everybody shows up, like half the team are Samoans, and they're all like all scared and they're like fucking tripping. And, like I said, there's like this mental thing that happens in a game. Or, oh man, you got to watch out. Last time this guy put up 40 points last night against this school and these guys were state champs and da-da-da. And then my man comes in there and like you're already scared when you see him shooting around and hitting stuff. Or in the hockey game too, like, man, this guy can fly on the ice and he can put that puck put that puck away. He's like a walking hat trick, and everybody's just like, damn, and then already the game starts, and you want to figure, you already got a mental thing you got to work through from the game, just from the beginning of a game. So I've seen this guy break down many times in games, especially in the Dallas Mavericks series was probably one of the worst. Or when he played the Pacers too, when he had like a couple players getting in his head. blowing in his ear and messing with his hands and, talking all this shit. And like Jason Terry's old ass from the Dallas Mavericks. My man was like old as shit. And he shut LeBron down in the NBA Finals. Like every time the fourth quarter came, LeBron would like disappear because it was a mental game, and he grew into this, he grew stronger as far as it goes. He is growing, even though he's towards the end of his career, getting towards the back, the back end. I still felt like he still doesn't have it all the way because these fans were just talking trash and he got upset about it. And I feel like that's part of a staple of the sport. Like I said, I feel like trash talking is a huge staple in sports. I'm telling you, even in senior citizen sports, there's some trash talking going on. Even in sports, they trash talk and hype up dudes already, like right before the game starts too. They'll talk about what he did last game. Oh my God, this guy just like rebounded bananas. This guy had a triple-double. This guy did this and that. This guy had like 15 blocks and like 94 assists. I'm just kidding, but, and he shot like 8,000% from the field. And they'll already start doing that on the fucking pregame. They'll start hyping fans up that way, like, damn. And being a fan, being a fan in sports also takes a mental capacity. It does. It takes a big mental capacity to be a fan of sports. If you're a loyal fan to your team, I mean, damn, there's diehard fans. I'm a Lions fan. I'm a Detroit Tigers. I'm a home fan, home team fan. Yes, I'm aware my teams aren't good, but they're still my team I support. It's a very tough job, but someone's got to do it. And I happen to be one of those individuals. But, you want to, but like I said, there's already like, there's a mental part of every sport. Like I said, even being a fan, it's tough. Like when your team's not good, or if your team is good, you got, you think your team, you're scared when your team's going to lose, or if your team's on a little win streak and, oh shit, they might just lose this one. They might get this L. They might not win every game, but they could take, they could go back to back. So there's a lot of pressure on a lot of teams. But there's something else that bothered me with Mr. LeBron James. Now, humans, I'm a respectful person of everybody's accomplishments. I'm not saying LeBron James, I'm not doing the Jordan comparison thing. I think Jordan's a better player, whatever, that's just my opinion, but I'm not saying like LeBron shouldn't be with the GOAT status. I think those guys should be like 1, 2, and then the guys behind them 3, because LeBron is a phenomenal player, but I still feel like it's two different positions. I'm not, like I said, I don't even want to do all that. Plus, there's a lot of things that you could separate from that part. Anyways, phenomenal player this generation, but not the GOAT. But there's another player that's in GOAT status who's not with us anymore, and he goes by the name of Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. And one time he had this phenomenal game. I forget who he was playing, and he did this this dance where, it was called the big balls dance. Look, he ran around and he was, acting like he was juggling some giant balls, like big old beach balls. And after he hit this big shot. And so recently, LeBron James hit a shot in the game with like very little significance, in my opinion, because the Lakers aren't that good this year. They're an okay team, but I feel like they're just not motivated right now. They don't look motivated right now. We'll see how they look when it gets closer to playoff time. But right now, they just don't look that motivated. But they do have the weapons to be, take it there. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I know some teams with older players like they have got to pace themselves a different way, than being a fan, you probably want them to win all the games. But then they could get tired in playoff time and just get knocked out real quick. And you don't want that. So they're probably gauging themselves. I'm not like knocking them out of the picture just yet. I'm not knocking them out just yet. But I found it, LeBron James goes and hits this shot in this game, and he did the big balls dance. And it really upset a lot of players and a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, because they felt like it was a disrespect to a legend. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came out and spoke right out to the media, just like flat out said, this was a disrespectful. And he told LeBron James, or in his opinion, he said LeBron James shouldn't be considered a Laker for life, even though they signed him that deal or whatever. He said he shouldn't be considered a Laker for life, that he's just a guest. He said Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and name some other players. Those are Lakers for life. He goes, LeBron James is a visitor. because he felt like that was real disrespectful. And I was like, man, it kind of is in a way if you're not going to pay homage to someone after you do their move. You know what I mean? Like when Carlos Mencia stole jokes. You know, if you're going to steal a joke, at least go, be a man and pay homage to them fools. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Bright light. No. But anyways, I just feel like, I don't know what your opinion is on trash talking in sports, humans, but I feel like it's just a staple. It belongs. It's like bread and butter. I think the two go together. And I'm going to end it right there. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, hit me with a like and subscription. I'd appreciate it. And turn on your notifications because I'm here twice a week. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
Yes, yes.